Hello everybody, it's Mr. Johnson here. It's the 3rd of December, looking forward now to Christmas as we enter into December. This is this week's Head Teachers Update. Busy week again at Maiden Early School in Reading. I have a few more things to say about the staffing situation in a couple of moments. But we've also had things like our Year 9 Parent Information Evening. Thank you to Mr. Raven for leading that and for the Year 9 parents who attended that, albeit virtually. I hope you found that helpful and useful information. We've also publishing this week the Year 9 report, so please do have a look at the data that teachers have been giving about your students, about their current attainment, their behaviours for learning and their predicted grades. Have a discussion with your student, with your child. We will be discussing with the Year 9 students in lessons how that's going. And a lot of work going on with Year 11 following their PPE season. It's not just about doing these types of exams and moving on. We look at them, we mark them, we understand what the gaps are that are being shown through those examinations, and then there's a lot of follow-up work going on with Year 11 to help them move on and progress. So a lot of work going on there. Of course, the big feature, I suppose, negative news as well this week was the impacts of COVID on our staffing levels. It was a very, very pressured week. At times we had up to a quarter of the teachers out of school, and if you think about that, that's why we had unfortunately to move to year group rotas for 3 days this week. Thank you for your understanding about that. I know it's inconvenient. I'm sure it's not what you want for your child. It's certainly not what I want. I want all of our students in all of the time, but we just had no option. And you know, there are no supply teachers out there at the moment. The teacher supply agencies are bare because actually all schools in the area are facing real staffing problems, not only with COVID and associated absences, but to do with things like seasonal flu, which just seems to be particularly strong this year. So we had to take that decision on, and thank you again for your understanding around that. We're very hopeful, and certainly where are we at sort of 2 o'clock on a Friday afternoon. Monday's looking good for all groups to be back. So please do send your children in on Monday as normal. Hopefully this has just been a little bit of a blip, and we get back to normality next week. Last Saturday, as I wrote to you, we had the announcement about different measures that were being brought in, principally to try and get ahead of the impact of the new variant of COVID, the Omicron variant, and we it forced us as a school, but also to look at what we're doing in school. So we've reviewed our risk assessment. That can be found on our website. I did write to parents about this earlier in the week. We are asking all students to wear these, to wear the face coverings around the corridors, and we're kind of just enforcing that a little bit more. And I have to say, students have been very good, very understanding. We're not just telling them to do it, we're telling them the reasons why, and that will be something that we keep coming back to over the next couple of weeks as we move towards Christmas. We've continued to emphasise the importance of hand washing, hygiene, cleaning the desks, having ventilation, all of that stuff really, really important, and socially distancing where possible. And can I just encourage you to keep testing, keep testing, keep testing. Use the lateral flow tests and just be very, very vigilant. And if there is any symptoms or any positive, certainly any positive response to the lateral flow test, then please do not send your children into school and get a PCR test. One of the things that the government did announce last week is that when we return after Christmas, all schools will be asked to reinstitute our mass testing centres and to test everybody before they join school properly. Government have allowed schools to stagger the starts of the term. So what we are proposing at this stage, and I will confirm this in writing to you later, is that our first day back, which is Wednesday the 5th of January, will not be a learning in school day. It will be a learning from home day using Google Classroom. Work will be set for all of the lessons that day, and what we will do is we'll invite students in during a particular time during the day to come and have a lateral flow test. we will do that in school, and then hopefully, as long as they're not positive, the test is negative, then they'll return back to school the very next day. So everybody will then start on Thursday, the 6th of January, for face-to-face lessons. So just to repeat, Google Classroom lessons on Wednesday the 5th, face-to-face lessons on Thursday the 6th, and on the 5th we will invite your child in for their lateral flow test. That will just doing it that way means that we can put all of our staff onto testing and making sure that we get through that quickly, so that we can get students back in and doing what we need to on the Thursday there. Christmas is coming, and lots happening around the school. We have our giving tree, which is proving particularly popular. Opportunity for students to give things for charity, particularly in support of our local food bank. We have Christmas lunch on Thursday. There's a letter that will be going home about that, so your child can order their Christmas lunch. Also on Friday the 10th of December we have Festive Jumper Day. That's staff and students. Again, great opportunity to dress up a little bit in something festive, and also to raise a little bit of money for charity there. So we're asking for £1 donations from staff and students that choose to wear a festive jumper on Friday the 10th. Going into the following week, we then have our year group celebration assemblies on Thursday the 16th of December. Heads of year will be leading those, and real celebration of the successes of the term. And then Friday the 17th of December will be our last day of term. Again, a few things planned for that day, and we will be dismissing students, as is our tradition, for the afternoon at 12:10. Again, I will write to you to confirm all of those details. Just a few other things. We've had reports that a few of our younger year students in years 7 and 8 have been going over to Alfred Sutton Primary School, our neighbours just down the road, and playing on their playground play equipment at the end of school. Please could you ask your child not to do that. We're aware that some of our students go to pick up siblings from Alfred Sutton. That's fine. The school are very, very happy for you to do that, but not to go down just to use their play equipment. They're not supervised, and it is obviously the property of the primary school there. So appreciate your support in that. We'll be making that message very clear to our students. The government last week finally announced its details about its uniform review. It's asking all students to review uniform to make sure that uniform is more affordable. That's something we've been keen to do. We've just been waiting for the details to come through from the government. So across the schools in our trust, in January time, February time, we will be conducting a review of the school uniform, asking your opinions and your perspectives on our uniform, just to make sure that we make it as accessible and as affordable as possible. And finally, on this slide, we are still trying to get the School Street project up and running. We do still need helpers with that to be marshals and to help support the School Street programme. Please let us know if that's something that you are able to do. Again, we'll be in touch with more detail about that soon. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching. Hope that you have a good weekend. Hope it doesn't get too cold and wet and December-y, but I think it may well do. So all the best. Look forward to seeing everybody back on Monday, and we can get back to doing what we do best. Have a good weekend. Speak to you soon.